You ever wonder how wealthy people just keep growing that stockpile of money? In today's video, that's exactly what we're going to be looking at. Putting away $1,000 a month might seem like a daunting task, but we're going to break it down mathematically, show you exactly what it can do for you over a course of 20 years. Now, when you start thinking of 20 years, that is a pretty big time frame as well. But if you're 45 thinking of 65 at retirement, that does give you a 20-year runway to essentially saving $1,000 a month. And you don't personally have to save every single penny of this. And we're going to go through that in this video as well, because when you start running the numbers, the compounding interest, and I shared this with an individual a couple days ago, it's kind of crazy to think investing $1,000 a month for 2 decades, that is right, it is 20 years, putting into something that has a 10% average return, which for this, we are using the S&P 500. If you look at the VOO, it is the 500 largest companies in the United States. And honestly, if you're new to investing, it is really a great place to start investing. We have a link down below for M1 Finance, but if you put away $1,000 a month over that 20-year period with an average return of 10%, you're looking at $687,000. That is right, guys. You are well over $500,000 put in there over the course of 20 years, which of course, when you start looking at the years after that year number 20, you are starting to see some mega numbers when you compound. But how much money did you put in? $1,000 a month. Again, thinking of your 12 months a year, $12,000 a year. Your actual contribution is $240,000, which again, you're at $250,000. However, your growth that you'd see at that point is $447,000 more than you actually put into the account. So you think about that. And again, mathematically, so you doubled your investment, which is kind of crazy thinking of the 480, and you're just right on par with growing that investment just from contributions over an extended amount of time. This is because of the compounding growth that we see. And of course, when you think of this, if you invested $1,200 for the first year, you made $120 profit, invested $1,320 for the second year, then you invested all of your profit. That is the big reason, and that is how the compounding works. But how do you invest $1,000 a month? How do you get to that magical number? For a lot of people, this is going to be a huge task. $12,000 a year is going to be the goal. But if you look at the average full-time worker makes $59K, which was the last quarter of 2023. So investing $12,000 a year would be 20% of your income or your annual income, which of course it doesn't have to be. Now, why is that? When you think of $12,000, you don't have to put every penny in there yourself. And there are a few ways to make this possible, even on a lower salary, even on a higher salary. You don't necessarily need to save that $1,000 all by yourself. That is the reason why not only getting tax breaks, but also getting employer contributions or employer matching might make a big difference. Let's say, for instance, in your 401k, and they match 50% of it up to 6% of your salary. That means your employer would put in and kick in $3,500 right off of your contributions. So if you're putting in, again, that $1,000 a month and they're matching it, they're putting in $3,500. So you would only have to contribute in this scenario $8,427. They would put in the $3,500 and some change, giving you $12,000 in the retirement account. So now when you think about that, again, kind of breaking it down, you're not putting $1,000 in there every single month, but through the employer match, you actually get some matching contributions in there, putting that $12,000 in that retirement account. Now let's think even further and dive a little deeper. Let's assume you're in that 22% tax bracket. You're a single filer with average income. So if you're investing that exact same number, the 8427 every single year, you'd also save $1,854 in a traditional 401k. So not only are you putting in, again, that $8,427, you're also getting $1,800 savings on your taxes while still putting the $12,000 in there. So your contributions would actually decrease your income by about $6,500 again for the contributions. That's about 11% of your income, which should be doable. So when we thought of the first scenario, putting in 20% didn't really make realistic expectations. But when you start putting at 11% of your annual income, that seems a lot more reasonable. Through the taxable contributions that you're getting, also through the employer match, you're essentially negating 9% of the required contributions in there, which is kind of cool. So if you're putting in, and again, running through the numbers, $8,427, then of course, the employer is matching that 6% of 50% of it up to 6% of your salary. They're kicking in $3,572. That puts you at that $12,000. with your contributions, you're getting back 1854 as a tax deduction because we're putting it into a traditional 401k. The actual cost of contributions after your tax savings is $6,500. So again, thinking of $1,000 a month seems a lot more feasible when you actually break down the annual contributions you're putting in there to $6,500. But a lot of people, including myself, including people that I do financial counseling with, don't see the big picture. That is really what it does look like. So if you're thinking 11% of your annual income, and of course, this is only over 20 years. Let's say, for instance, you're putting in that 10%. The goal that we're looking for contributions is 15. If you're putting the 15, you're thinking of, yes, you're going to be north of $500,000 over that same 20-year period. If you're putting in that 15% versus the 11% of the salary they used in this scenario, you will actually be north of $1 million in 20 years, which is cool. So when you think about wealth generation, when you think about generational wealth, the ability to save $1 million or save actually over $1 million, the sooner you do this. And again, thinking if you're younger and you start off with a good job, you get out of school, you're 22, you're 24, you start your career, if you start putting away 15% at that point, so at the point of getting a career, kind of getting everything set, if you start with 15%, by the time you're 22 or 24, in the time that you do hit 65 for retirement with 15% contributions over your entire life, you're going to be looking at $3 to $5 million in a retirement account just by putting in that 15% and really setting it and forgetting it, but also ensuring that it is invested in the market and it is invested into something that is going to grow. So when you think about $1 million, I know it doesn't buy as much as it did years ago, but overall, you and I can both be a millionaire through regular contributions. Now, of course, you could also bump this up a little if you did the Roth option, meaning the tax deduction you would wipe out. However, when you think about the Roth option, if you do have the ability to do a Roth 401k, so thinking about the same contribution. So if you're putting in money, they're doing the employer match like we kind of talked about. When you start breaking down those numbers mathematically, you might put in a little bit higher percentage, but then when you actually get the growth factor out of there and getting to the point of having, $600,000, that is 100% tax-free, is going to be a game changer. If you're looking at $687K in an account, that is a Roth, meaning the taxes have already been paid. That is going to be a game changer forever. That is going to be a game changer for you. That is also going to be generational wealth for your kids. That is going to be for your grandkids. If you continue this with the snowball, if you continue with the high investment balances, you can even set your kids up to not work during their life and even their kids, depending on how much you're taking out of here. Now, of course, when it comes to retirement, even if you're taking out 4%, if you have $1 million, you can take out 40 grand every year once you get to that $1 million point and never touch the initial principal that's in there. When you think of some of the biggest financial gurus, including Dave Ramsey, he talks about never touching the golden goose, never depreciating or never taking money out of the investment account, that keeping it at a certain level and trying to get more growth and faster growth than what you're actually taking out of the account, which will be a game changer again for literally the rest of your life because it will continue to snowball. It will continue to roll with the compounding interest. And you're just taking a little bit off of the back end, off of the growth factor that you do see within these accounts. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. If you like the content that I'm putting out there, please consider subscribing to the channel and I'll catch you in the next video.